Voltaire said, "Every man is a creature of the age in which he lives, and few are able to raise themselves above the ideas of the time." Plato said, "Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools because they have to say something." George Bernard Shaw thought that the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. This is Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Friday, May 17th, 7:48 in the evening. We're back in the studio. This is Whiskey Hell Podcast, your news show that looks at all the wonderful narratives that we had throughout the week and tries to put them in a nice, easy pill that you can swallow. How's it going, Fitz?
It's going great. It's going great. And speaking of, swallowing, I mentioned to you and Jefe earlier today, I woke up just on the wrong side of horny. Just everything that even resembles something of a feminine shape. It just caught my eye. I was ramped up, pumped up, just raring to go. And maybe just maybe it was the fact I knew we were doing a show tonight. I don't know. But anyway, I'm better now. I've relieved that tension. And I'm ready to rock and roll. So how are you?
I'm really, really good. I'm happy to be back in the home confines, though. Recording from Texas was great. Recording on the road with you and Jefe was fantastic. But there's something about being in front of my computer, my gigantic monitors, all my stuff is here. I feel at peace. I feel there's a little bit of an energy. I'm pouring one of those beers from the Rare Beer Club right now.
Nice.
Yeah, got
nice.
those
Yeah, I feel
last week, I think. But yeah,
I feel the same way. I feel like when I was firing everything up, getting ready for the show, I was like, all right, I'm sitting in my command and control chair here. I got everything at my fingertips. I know exactly where everything is. I know how to look shit up. Yeah, it's much more comfortable this way.
Yeah, no, it totally is. But last week was really, really fun. And we'll get into
it was great.
Things up.
Yeah.
We'll totally wrap things up when we get to housekeeping. But it was everything that last week and the week before, as far as news, wasn't. This week has more than made up for it. So we've got a big show, I think.
Yeah. That dock is as big as my. Well, it's big. Let's just put it that way. It's big.
So what beer are you drinking?
Well, new brewery to me. Never even heard of these guys. And as you will find out, their website is absolute shit. But I think it's just getting kicked off. So they haven't, there's a couple of like coming soon pages, but the brewery is Ghost Town Brewing. And from everything I can gather, they are, from somewhere in, oh gosh,
Oakland.
I was looking at in Oakland, yes, in the Bay Area. So, anyway, I don't know anything about this brewery. So it's a mystery brewery and a mystery beer. The beer poured a cloudy, yellow. I won't even say it was golden. It was just like pure yellow, almost like a highlighter yellow, very fluorescent. So I don't know what we're gonna get here. I'm smelling hops though, so I'm guessing we got a hazy.
Okay,
I'm guessing we got a hazy.
It's a pure yellow, but it doesn't look hazy though, right? Or is it?
It's hazy. Yeah, it poured cloudy yellow.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We'll go ahead and take a swig here. Ghosttownbrewing.com if you guys want to check out the website. There really isn't much on there.
Whoa.
Sour?
Whoa. No. It's a hazy.
Okay.
But I'm getting a little bit of earth in there, like a little bit of bark, some soil. It's dirty. It's a dirty hazy. Maybe some, we try not to get too into the guessing the hops that they're using, but I'm guessing some mosaic is in there because I'm tasting that citrusy side of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, definitely guessing a hazy IPA. Let's see what we got. Unveiling coming up. By the way, I do dig their artwork. If you dig around on the website, they got some cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is cool. Okay, so this is called Nightmare Juice. Hazy IPA, 6.4. We got some Mosaic, some Idaho 7, some Vic Secret, whatever that is, and some Sabro. Those are the hops that are in here. This fucking artwork is scary. It's a clown, but he's actually a skeleton, and there's a black cat. He's doing something weird with the black cat's backside area. I don't know what's going on here, but I dig it anyway. It's great. It's great artwork. Good stuff. Anyway,
All right.
I like it. It's a good beer. I like how dirty it is. I mean, this thing's filthy. Which again, the way I woke up today, it fits right in. Like this perfect beer for me tonight. So,
All right.
what
Well,
are you starting off with there?
I have one of the rare beer club beers. Just came from last week, and I'm pretty stoked for it because it's not a sour. It's not a farmhouse or anything along those lines. It is called Corson Donk Patter. This is actually it's from Belgium, and it should be a brown. It should be a brown ale. This beer has caramelized malt on the nose with hints of ripe fruit, mild on the palate with well balanced bitterness, hints of fruit, toasted bread, licorice, coffee, and caramel. So
Beautiful
not a
bottle.
lot of smell. Yeah, I know it totally is. Apparently that bottle is actually copyrighted too. It does
Oh,
something different. I don't know what the deal is with it, but
I mean, I'll uh,
oh
I'll, I'll buy a dinner and tell it it's pretty.
oh, there's something funky going on there.
Funky, like too hoppy.
No, it has a real copper finish to it.
Oh, okay.
Huh. I'm gonna have to think that one through. It leans a little bit more into a double, so it's a little on the sweet side. Not super sweet though. Not a dirty brown. Not earthy either. Wow, that's interesting. I'm not in love with it yet, so we're gonna see how that's gonna warm up. We'll see. Ooh, that was kind of an abrasive.
Rough start, huh?
Yeah,
Like
it's just
like
odd.
you didn't see that speed bump coming, rough, or you're just on a washboard road.
Like what? Like I'm eating the washboard. Like I'm running my tongue up and down the washboard. That's how it's coming off to me.
Okay. Listen, I already told you I'm horny. You don't have to talk dirty to me.
All right, I'm not leaning into it here.
Well, I know, but I warned you.
You did warn me. I appreciate that.
I
I
will
don't
come
know.
right through this mic, so to speak.
Oh,
And I don't
seven.
mean Mike from the Grays. That's
All
not.
right.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
7.5% alcohol. You can't taste the alcohol at all. It's only 7.5, so I kind of expected that. But I even have it in the right glass too, which is interesting. So we'll see how that one warms up. But yeah, interesting. A
Cool.
lot of
Well, I
metal.
mean,
It's very strange.
I'm glad. I mean, you're getting a nice wide variety
Oh, totally.
from that pack, and that's really cool. Very fun.
Very, very much so. All right. So in chat tonight we have Buttercup, Beard of Liberty. Justin's here. Welcome, Justin. Thank you for joining us tonight. Justin dialing in from Santan Valley, Arizona. Beard of Liberty L. I think L's driving around. If L has, if you're still out and about and you have this playing for your child, I'm so sorry for everything that you're about to hear. Tabby and Gray's Tap Room podcast, of course. And that's Mike. So we got a full house. This is going to be fun.
We do have a full house. I'm hoping that, well, let's just say, hopefully nobody falls victim to me tonight. That's all I can say.
Well, what you do, after the show, right? Or what you have going on in side chats or snapping, I don't know. And truly what we need to worry about is, the iPhone. And if anybody had the new update, just be careful, because you might have some dick pics that come up or some other pics that come up out of the blue that you might have deleted, Fitz. And just be sure that you're not sending them out to anybody.
What makes you think I have dick pics on my phone?
Oh, I might be thinking of Jefe. I'm sorry.
Oh God, we're terrible. We're terrible people. Terrible.
Well,
people.
did you see that though? iPhone, the new Apple or update. There, you're getting archived photos that you thought you deleted years ago.
Yeah, I did see that. Apple's having some trouble here, and I mean, I guess they've always had some trouble on one level or another. But those of us, it's one of those things where you buy in hook, line, and sinker into an OS, and then you're kind of stuck, right? I mean, your email, your chat, your photos, just your whole life is tied up in Apple.
You're committed, yeah. And you're committed,
right. And so you're willing to overlook their little gaffes, their little oopsies. But some of this shit now is getting to the point where it's like I'm looking around, I'm shopping around. I mean, fuck my photos. I don't like anything Apple is about. I don't like anything they're doing with their quote unquote new shit, which is just old shit, refurbished. I'm kind of losing faith in them as a company to be somebody who's, on the envelope. It's crazy. I'm not happy with Apple right now.
I'm not, but if I get some pics that came back from a certain female individual from back in the day that I might have deleted, I would be really happy with that, because I miss those pics. So maybe that's like their way of like bridging like the gap for customers.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to bring back the horny for them. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Alternative view.
Maybe that's why I woke up so horny today.
Yeah.
It was subliminal messaging.
Maybe you did an update overnight and and it was just injected straight into your brain.
Man. Well, if that's the case, then, let's fucking do this. Lube up, get ready. Here we come.
Justin said that Elon is working on an X phone. I'd buy a phone from Elon.
Yeah. When he was on Rogan, Rogan asked him straight up, like, are you guys planning on doing a phone? And Elon said it in a very interesting way. He said, "Oh God, I hope we don't have to make a phone." That's exactly how he said it. I hope we don't have to.
Right.
And so but if he is, that means he's looking around going, okay, there's absolute shite out there, and we got to do something better. We do have a Jefe sighting.
Hello.
What's up, man?
Oh, man. So there's a guy here. I was betting black chips for the dealers, and I just dealt to him. He put me up 4 different times. Once it was $50. Once it was $100. Another time it was $50. Another time it was $100. Guess how many I hit?
0.
0 is correct. I did push on one, so I got 2 chances at that one, but I lost. So that would have been 2 for $600 right there, and he would have probably bet more for me, if I was winning with him.
Yeah.
So it could have been shit. Who knows?
I'm sorry, man. That's a rough way to start the night, but you'll get him back. You'll get
Well, the lady sitting next to him, who has no fucking earthly idea what she's doing at that table, she threw me 2 pink chips. So that's $5, boom, in my box right there. So it's not a total loss.
No, and the ladies are always gonna throw some cheddar Jefe's way, always.
Oh yeah,
You got the smile, man. You got the smile.
well, it's like a gravitational pull. The moon's not going anywhere,
Right.
and the women aren't going anywhere either.
Exactly. Hey, I gotta say, last weekend was just so awesome. It was everything. That whole trip was just everything I wanted and needed it to be. Had a great time out with you guys on Friday night. It was just so nice to just be us, just hang out, drinking some beers, reminiscing about old conquests and ridiculousness. So anyway, it's just awesome to see you guys, and we just got to make that happen more often. And we can't go, year and a half before we see each other again. So
Yeah,
No.
absolutely.
yeah,
To quote Frank the Tank, I had a great time. Dude, it
exactly.
was awesome. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really, not to make this about me, but I'm proud of myself for. That was like 9 hours of drinking.
Yeah, that was a marathon.
I didn't black out, and I was never really sober. It was the first in 48 years. it was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt the same way. Even on the drive home with excuse me, with Buttercup, which again, Buttercup, I don't know how many times I thanked you that night, but I'm gonna thank you on air here. Thanks for getting me home safe that night. And L too. L was along for the ride, but Buttercup did the driving. I remember that whole drive home. We had great conversation. I was at no point was I just like shitty. So yeah, no, I agree. I feel like we paced ourselves well. We kept delivering the water when we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a great night. Great night.
I give it 25 hip thrusts.
Excellent. 25 out of 25, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So, and for everybody, I was just gonna say, for everybody out there, there's at least 2 versions of the show from last week. So there's what went up online for the public, and then there's the Patreon version, which held, well, it was very much unedited. So if anybody, please make sure that you've checked that out. It was like you're saying, it was really, really fun. What brewery did you like the most though? What was the best part as far as
that's an easy one for me personally. I thought Monk Brewing really kind of stood head and shoulders above everything else we did. There was some solid beers elsewhere, other places, but Monk Brewing, every single one of those goddamn beers was fucking amazing.
Yeah, that was cool, and to get the feedback from the girls there, the waitresses, that was really cool. Oso was a lot of fun. Oso was that was a really cool place to be too.
Yeah, I agree. I would say for like people watching and like just being a part of that place was huge, and it was packed, and it was a Friday night, and it was just, you had a lot of pretty people out there. You had a lot of people that just, you could just tell it was a long week. They were just there to unwind. That was a great scene. So, but as far as beer, Desert Monks they just killed it. So good.
Yeah, they really, really did. DesertMonksBrewing.com. That's the website to go to. Very unique beers, fantastic, well finished, very, very well thought out beers. It's a treat. I don't go there nearly enough, but that was awesome. And the thing about Oso too, the variety of people was just amazing, and they're so consistently like that. You've got bikers, you've got bike heads, you've got, like you're saying, pretty people, just the guys who are out there walking their dogs and grabbing a beer. It's just packed. Tons of fun. And as the summer goes on, I can guarantee you there's going to be very little clothing being worn there, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, well, and that was the other cool part was, misters everywhere. They had a huge outdoor screen. And that night they were playing sports and stuff, but I'm sure they have like movie nights or whatever. It's just a really cool hangout spot. I would love to go back there.
Absolutely. Jefe, I believe you've got a little bit of a surprise for us. I think you're. Is it a double penetration night? Is that what I hear?
It is. It is. Here's the thing: is
Yes.
I thought about hanging it up and retiring, but I got some disturbing hate mail from someone in Kentucky. It was like, remember, like the serial killers would cut shit out of magazines and paste letters together.
Yes.
It was like that.
Oh,
I can't
I
even.
would expect nothing less from Kentucky.
I
from
can't even
Kentucky. Yeah.
said it was thoroughly disturbing to the point where it brought me back at our retirement with a terrible twofer tonight. So yeah, we're gonna get a double dose of the farm report.
Excellent.
All right, Jefe, light it up.
Good to be. All right. So, did you know that the most commonly sexually abused animals on factory farms are turkeys and pigs? Who knew? And also, the biggest demographic of those who intentionally abuse animals are men under 30, while those involved in animal hoarding are typically women over 60. That's your farm report.
What in the absolute fuck?
Did you say turkeys?
Yes.
How do you even sexually abuse a turkey? Well, I'm sorry. How does that happen? That's like one step down from a ostrich.
Well, they
Oh my
have
God. And they're angry.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
well they have a thing called what is it called, a cloaco, something like that. It's kind of like their vagina,
Cloaca?
cloaca,
Cloaca. Yeah.
and yeah.
It's
Somebody-
like their vagina. Hold on. Wait. First of all, how do you find the cloaca under all those feathers? Do you have to like defeather it first?
Oh my God.
Are you asking how I do it, or
I'm asking how one would go about this.
Jefe just walks up and asks nicely, "Hey, can I see your cloaca?"
Gobble, 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 gobble.
that sound like a
Hey, did
That was
I
a
did
turkey
I
blowjob.
did I ever tell you guys about Turkey Fight Club?
no?
You did not hear about Turkey Fight Club? Okay, so my house previous to this one, I'll make it quick because I know you got to go, Jefe, but my house previous to this one, we were up in the South Hills of Eugene, and up in the South Hills, there's a lot of wildlife out there. There's raccoons, and you get herds of deer just coming right through your backyard. And there's also several, is it a gaggle? Well, let's just go with a flock.
Flock of turkeys.
Or is it a gaggle?
Geese is
I
a
don't
guy.
know. I'll
well, anyway.
I'll effort what a pack of turkeys is. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there would be a pack of turkeys. Now, in turkey culture, the females actually fight over the males. And so one morning, pretty early, my wife and I were up.
It's a rafter or a flock. Continue.
Oh, okay. Let's go with rafter. That sounds cooler.
Yeah, it does.
There was a rafter of turkeys, and the male, which you can tell that he's the male because he's got the big plume of feathers. You know, he's what you think of when you think of like a turkey, was in the middle of this circle of females, and they were walking in I shit you not, a counterclockwise. They were all walking together in this circle around him, and he was just kind of sitting there strutting. And then all of a sudden, two females would just go at it. It was just Fight Club. Just boom. You don't talk about it. You just fucking fight. But your first night, you have to fight. And they would go at it, and there'd be feathers and shit. And then the male, when he was done watching them fight, he'd go over there and break it up. And one of the females would either get back in the circle or would sort of stand off to the side. And then they'd start rotating again. I mean, it was like a weird, fucking ritual. And they just did this. They just kept fighting over him until he finally chose who he was going to mate with. And then the rest of the females were just like, bitches leave. Like, you're out. You get nothing. And he and this other female went off the other way. Is that crazy?
God damn.
They all talked shit about him and her after that.
Oh, you know they were talking shit. Yeah, so we just called it Turkey Fight Club because it was fucking bizarre, but that's what it looked like. Like a bunch of turkeys standing around just like watching people or watching turkeys fight. And we got to see the whole thing.
Please tell me you're gonna, if that ever happens again, if you ever see anything like that, we need Fitz's Wild Kingdom. That's all I want to have happen. Tape it, narrate it. We'll put a David Attenborough voice over it, and have some serious fun with that because that needs to happen.
That's a fantastic idea. Okay, I mean you got it. I need to find out. I don't remember what time of year that was. I believe it was kind of late, like late fall. I remember it being chilly because we were standing out on the deck watching this happen. And it was chilly, so I think it was late fall. But yes, I will find that out. I will get it on video, and we're gonna have a whole new segment right after the farm report. It's gonna be Mutual of Omaha's Fitzy's Wild Kingdom.
Rafter with the rafter of turkey.
Rafter. Yep.
Brought to Pfizer.
Brought to you by
Pfizer. Perfect.
Halfway through, I'll collapse it with a stroke.
Bring in your A game, Jefe. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man, that was great.
Yeah, there'll be another one.
Oh, we've got so 3 tonight? Because that was like 2 back to back. There's another later?
Yeah, those were grouped together. The next one is, remember, I don't know, like 6 months ago, I promised you a disturbing one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the next break.
Okay.
Oh,
so
boy.
great for that.
All right. Because
I'm as giddy as a little schoolgirl.
Yeah, you think fingering turkeys is gross?
You're gonna really blow our minds, huh?
Well, maybe not. Maybe now that I think about it, turkey.
It's better than blowing a turkey. When you said most abused animals, literally turkey was the last. I did not expect. I mean, sheep and cows and pigs.
I don't know how you fuck with a turkey. That's just like you're gonna lose a appendage. That's some weird kinky. You're wow. No.
I don't know. Yeah. I've never eaten a cloaca before, so I don't know. I mean, everybody's got their kink. We don't kink shame here on Whiskey.
No, that's true. No, we do not.
No,
we definitely do not.
Well, maybe some.
Aaron does. Aaron
does.
Yeah.
Blowing a turkey sounds like a lot of work. Yes, Aaron. Finger a turkey.
I believe at that point you call it smoking a turkey.
Very good. Very good. Calliope just walked in, and she just walked into something that I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you walked
Calliope.
in the middle of that. You're going to have to listen
I hope you're not on call tonight. Yeah, it's not our fault. It's Jefe's.
Yep, it's all me. I can wear that. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit.
All right, man. We'll catch you
later, Jefe. God damn it.
Well, that was a. That was a. We knew. Okay, everybody, we knew Jefe was going to come in with a farm report, and he still came in like a wrecking ball. He still just fucked everything up.
He completely did.
That is his power.
He did set us up to talk about Peakcock and their gay trans Mutual of Omaha wild TV show that they're doing.
Wild lesbian and gay.
Yeah.
Animal porn? Yeah, all right, let's go there. Let's do it.
So I purposely left that off the dock, but I don't see how we can get around not talking about it at this point. Did Peakcock, did NBC have to do this?
I mean, someone somewhere felt like they had to. What's weird about it is, and we picked up on it right away when we first saw the story that this just came out today, right? We just saw this.
It's like the last 2 days. Queer Planet's the name of it.
Yeah. And it's like immediately it just felt like they were trying to tell us that it's okay to be a transhuman. and a trans or a gay human or whatever. And I'm not saying it's not okay. It's absolutely okay. But I absolutely don't need this shit shoved in my face. Like, see other animals do it too. I don't fucking care. I mean, McShane, you pointed out, which I very aptly, I thought, animals also, murder and rape each other. They kill their own young. They do some really like primal shit that we as humans, I would think we have evolved past. And so if you want to justify it that way, then okay, fine. We're all animals. It's okay if I just go over and shoot my fucking neighbor because I want to fuck his wife and eat his children. I mean, what the hell are we talking about here?
Well, and that's the thing. Doesn't this? It seems to me, okay. And again, we haven't watched this yet, right? And I really don't plan to. But just the perception is they're comparing anybody who's LGBTQ plus XYZ, any of them, to animals. And I've never, ever associated a person who leans into whatever persuasion that they're in as an animal. So if I would think this might be a little insulting, but I don't know. I'm also looking at it rationally.
I'm insulted for them. How about that? I mean, as a human, I'm insulted. I am.
Oh, I don't understand it. And I'm sure they're positioning, because isn't it, don't they have June's coming. So isn't that one of the 19 Pride months that we have?
I don't know, man. Dude, I'm at Pride LGBTQ,
every day.
I'm just tired of it. Like I have fatigue. I have LGBTQ fatigue. Yeah, you're right. Do whatever you're gonna do. Don't expect me to give a shit because
leave me out of it.
It's all over the fucking place. Yeah, right. I don't share my mental illness with you. I mean, we've all got some level of mental illness, and it comes out in various different ways. And mine stays private. Yours is out there for everybody to look at. It's cool. It's all right.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that was odd that they're doing it, and I thank Jefe for bringing up his farm report when he did and the way he did, because that was exactly what the doctor ordered, I guess.
Dr. Jefe.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into some of the news from this week. We actually had an assassination that took place. Was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday.
Assassination attempt. Was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I don't know, dude. All the days are blending together. One of those days, the Slovakian Prime Minister. Now, I guess. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Robert Fico or Fico. Yep.
I don't know how to exactly pronounce his name. So here's the thing: political assassinations or political assassination attempts probably happen every day on this planet. The events surrounding this one are what caught our eye and that's what's interesting about all of this. Number one, was it 4 days prior? He basically told the WHO to go fuck themselves, that he wasn't going to give up Slovakia's sovereignty.
Right.
In the case of a pandemic, he was like, nope, correct. I'm not signing that. You can go fuck yourself. He also has stood against very robustly, sending more NATO aid to Ukraine.
Correct.
So, he sounds like a rational dude, somebody I'd like to go have a beer with. Well, powers that be didn't like that, and there was an assassination attempt. Now, I say the powers that be, they tried to play it off very quickly, I might add. Very quickly, almost immediately. They had the guy who attempted the assassination. They had him in custody, and they said he was this, extremist, this right-wing extremist, and he was a psycho and a They had a full fucking manifesto from him, basically. And just like, I mean, dare I say, Oswald with JFK, it was like this guy conveniently has all of this manifesto shit just laying around his apartment or whatever, and so no wonder he shot the president, or no wonder he went after the prime minister. Um, but then, and again, I don't have receipts for this. I still haven't been able to track down where this information came from, but there are rumors out there, strong rumors. I won't say verifiable, but strong rumors that FICO's security detail was told to, quote unquote, leave this particular person alone, leave him be, give him space. And the security detail was like, why? And it's like, well, because he's supposed to be there, was the gist of it. That was the rumor. And then that's the guy that ends up shooting the prime minister 4 times, once in the head.
And it isn't this 71-year-old journalist or something? Like, he doesn't really fit the assassin.
Right. He's not some dude living out in the woods, making dildos out of wood or whatever. I don't know what psychos do. But he's not out there like living off the land, being some extremist like they want us to believe that he is. He's a journalist, like you said. He's not your typical, political assassin. Unless, and dare I say MK Ultra or something like that, he got activated. He has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He just starts shooting the guy he's been programmed to shoot. I don't know. I don't know. That's tinfoil hat shit. I know. So I fully admit that. I'm speculating. But it was just really weird. All the stuff that kept coming out about this assassination attempt, none of it. It all seemed like so painfully staged and planned by somebody powerful, and not just some lone gunman. We've all heard that story so many times that we can sniff that out a mile away. And it just seemed strange. So
this is a Zero Hedge article. Here's some of the stuff that he's been, that would be controversial for him. FICO earned NATO's ire after vowing to block the delivery of weapons to Ukraine during his last run for office. FICO has also expressed dissatisfaction with Bratislav's defensive pact with Washington, promising to review it. Now he's newly elected again. He's been a PM there before. I want to say it was early 2000s again in like 2010, and then just recently he was added again. He was elected again. He's basically the opposition party. FICO has expressed fervent opposition to Ukraine's membership in NATO and said he believes Russia began its military operation as a result of neo-Nazis running rampant in Ukraine. FICO has warned that Western military assistance to Ukraine will only prolong the crisis and increase the number of victims, and has accused foreign forces of meddling in the conflict, which could have been extinguished at the very beginning. FICO believes anti-Russian sanctions have negatively affected the lives of Slovaks, which truly sanctions have only strengthened Russia and this is me commenting, and hurt the rest of the world. FICO has been bashed by European legacy media as a left-wing populist analog of Hungarian right-wing populist Viktor Orban, with outlets pulling out all the stops to accuse him of democratic backsliding and flouting European norms. Contrary to stuff like immigration, forced immigration, that the rest of Europe is actually enduring. The Slovak PM has also made enemies with powerful European political and business interests, promised to launch an independent inquiry into EU's authoritarian pandemic-era policies. So no wonder he's pissed a few people off. Now, what was worse was that Sky News comes out and pretty much praised the assassination.
Yeah, that's the other weird shit that happened on this whole thing. And incidentally, before you get too deep in that, because that's significant, Slovakia has a border with Ukraine. So it's not like he's some non-player in Western Europe, where it doesn't matter. He's not sitting in France. He's not on some ivory tower in Paris saying, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this." He shares a border with Ukraine. He doesn't want war coming to his borders. He's right in the thick of it all. If anyone knows what the fuck is going on over there, he does. So I just felt like that's significant because Slovakia is right. It's right in the thick of all of it. But yeah, so now bring up the Sky News thing because that was fucked.
So he is expected to survive. Just so to answer Aaron's question in chat, yes, he is. He's still in critical condition, but he did make it out.
Yeah, from what I heard, you know what? I'll have to effort this article too because it was one of those times I was at work and I had like 5 minutes, so I just like thumbed through Twitter really quick. But one of the shot that hit his head actually broke off a piece of skull, but the skull like literally did its job and deflected the bullet, so the bullet nothing went into the brain. It just took a chunk of bone off, and so they just I don't know what they do with that. What do they slap a metal plate on there, or I don't know, maybe some gauze? I don't know. But so the everyone was saying, oh, he got shot in the head. He's definitely gonna die. Well, no, it just like bounced off the bone matter and took a chunk with it, but the bullet never entered his brain. So if he does survive this, he will come out with all of his faculties intact. That's the general consensus.
Here's the Sky News broadcast.
We don't know his condition yet, but he's being treated. But it's worth thinking about who this individual is. As I said, described in reporting as a populist, as a nationalist.
Yeah, well, that would make sense. I mean, Slovakia is a very conflicted place at the moment. I mean, Fico himself, he established this smear party, SMER, which is a social democracy party, back in 1999. And he's been, I think, as you were just saying, Prime Minister 3 times. So he's a well-known figure. But he's become very pro-Russian over the years, and one wonders why and how, but maybe that's his conviction. And like Viktor Orban in Hungary, he's set his teeth against going along with sanctions, with EU sanctions, against common procurement. Slovakia is it's a small country. In the sense that it's the Czechoslovakia as was. Mm-hmm. The Czech Republic is the bigger bit. Slovakia is the smaller bit, although it was the more industrial in the old days. So it's not to be, it's not negligible, but Slovakia is not a major player within the EU, but a bit like Hungary, which is also a bigger country, but it's not a very big player in the EU economically. They dig their toes in against aid to Ukraine and against any sort of sympathy with Kiev. And they keep saying, look, we want the war to finish. Yeah. And by that, they mean they want the Russians to succeed, and then the war will be over if Ukraine would just surrender and give up territory. And so that's the view he takes. Now, that's very divisive in Slovakia. It's divisive within the EU. So it's not surprising that this sort of event might take place because it's a very unhappy country at the moment, Slovakia. Not just on this basis, but on the basis of how the country is going in general towards a more authoritarian future or a more conventional West European sort of future.
Honest to God, assassination isn't okay. Getting rid of your political enemies isn't okay. And I know I'm not being naive. I'm not being this is something that does happen. This is pretty much how we do things, but it doesn't make it okay. And knowing that the spin right out of the gate, rather than the international turmoil that it brings, not to mention the message that it sends to, we're in the middle of an election cycle here, and we've got a president who is having to deal with a tremendous amount of conflict, ex-president who's running for president, Trump, with a weaponized DOJ and their, efforts by the Democratic Party to take away his Secret Service. It definitely sends a poor message. And then to go ahead and spin it as, well, that's what happens to Russian stooges. That's a pretty rich way to go about it. And that's the UK media.
Yeah, and that's besides the obvious point that that's very dangerous speak. That's a very dangerous idea to put out there.
It's open season on everybody then, right?
Right. That's it. That this is somehow justifiable. So then why don't, I disagree with a lot of people's politics. Let's just fucking kill everyone then. I mean, I don't know. We have lost our way here, and I don't know where those two bumbling idiots, the one who kept smacking his fucking lips as he talked, I can't stand that shit. Like, just keep your mouth shut. If you're not talking, keep your mouth shut. If you're talking, then make it go. Like, make your mouth work. You shouldn't have to. Anyway, maybe he was sucking dick while he was giving that interview. I don't know. But these two clowns and what they're insinuating that this is somehow, well, it's to be expected. The fuck are you saying? What are you talking about, man? That was the craziest part of this whole thing. I mean, the whole story's nuts. And by the way, there is footage of it happening live. Yeah. I mean, the guy just kind of pops out, levels a pistol at FICO or FICA. Is it FICA? FICO is your credit score.
Or FICO, yeah.
FICO, yeah, okay. And just starts shooting. I mean, it's like, clear as day what happened. Insane. The whole thing from beginning to wherever we are now. It's just crazy.
Well, that's okay because Anthony Blinken's going to make it all okay.
Oh, God.
And
this
listen,
fuck state.
I know this is a really, really difficult time. Your soldiers, your citizens, particularly in the Northeast and Kharkiv, are suffering tremendously. But they need to know, you need to know. The United States is with you. So much of the world is with you. And they're fighting, not just for Ukraine, but for the free world. And the free world is with you too. So maybe we can try something? Yeah.
So Anthony Blinken playing Rocket in the Free World for his well, here, let's just play some more.
Do we have confirmation that he was actually playing?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm assuming that he was because he's a very stand-up individual. So I can't assume that, I can't say that he wasn't playing.
Yeah, this was maybe the most cringeworthy thing that happened all week.
I guess we don't have. Damn it! I was hoping we had a little bit more than that. Well, that's too bad.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad we don't.
That is the most weak boner. That's like the most flaccid performance that I've. If you're you're going to do that, why would you even get up there? And they shut off his mic.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you? He's a flaccid human being. There's nothing about him that's interesting. There's nothing about him that stands out. He's vanilla. He's vanilla without the good flavor.
But we're delivering $80 million worth of aid, billions prior to that. And this is what he's doing. This is our Secretary of State. Our Secretary of State.
We like to often talk about the fact that we are not suicidal on this show because, we talk about some controversial things. We are not suicidal. But I may be after watching that. I don't know. That was fucking terrible. I'm having suicidal thoughts. I need to go see somebody. I'm sorry.
And I hate that song.
What is it that brings you in today? Did you see Blinken? I'm having suicidal thoughts, Doc. Give me some drugs. Give me something. Give me a stiff IPA, something. Which, by the way, this IPA is delicious. The filth has worn off, and maybe it's my throat is just raw from it or whatever. But now it's a really nice, hazy, not fruity at all. A little, like I said, a little bit of citrus, but really just a nice earthy beer. I really like it. Very good.
The Double is not too shabby. I'm hanging in with it. I still have a little bit more to get rid of, though. Not my favorite brown, but I think it's because it's a European style. I can go ahead and I can bank on that now.
Yeah.
So it's just it's different. It's a good experience, though. It's not like, oh my god, I shouldn't have done that. But I think one of the things about this rare beer club is that I'm finding out. Obviously, they're bringing over stuff that's actually made in Europe. There's a definite difference between the different styles that they're producing. Obviously, the water, but the takes on the beers. I'm finding our beers are very. We'll just call it brash. Okay. So if I'm switching, and I'm gonna switch between, I'm gonna go from this beer to something that's way more brash. We'll just call it like that here in a little bit. But that's one of the things that I'm really picking up on is they try to play the subtleties. There's a difference in the water. Very much it's just a very different take. I think they try to be a little bit more subtle with it, and sometimes I don't know that the flavors come out in the subtlety. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%. And I mean, it's, I mean, when you're used to getting spanked with a leather belt, when you have sex, and then you come up across somebody who's just like, just using their finger to slightly tap your ass, you're not going to feel it. I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about here, right? I mean,
I actually am. It's actually very close to like if you went to a Italian gas station and shoved a gas nozzle up your ass and tried to jerk off with it. I mean, that's really what it's closer to.
What the fuck, man? I cannot. I mean, I love that he has no shame until he knows he's on camera, and then he's like, "Oh, I'll just put it back now."
It's like the Godfather is sitting there, and he just had to go for it. For everybody out there, and you guys can look in the show notes because it's all over the fucking place. And I don't think anybody said, "Hey, at the beginning of this week, there's going to be somebody who's going to shove a gas nozzle." I don't know if it's regular or diesel. Is that diesel?
It looked regular to me. Yeah,
and then
yeah, exactly.
He's going to pleasure himself to it.
I definitely did not have that on my bingo card. I don't think we put it on any of the bingo cards. Which is a shame.
Did you have Portal of Boobs on your cards?
No. God damn it. The fucking boob portal. This thing, this is another one of those stories that I don't think anyone saw coming, and it's just kind of captured everybody. Literally and figuratively. So the idea was that they were going to set up this portal looking thing that's really just a camera, just a webcam.
It's just a big Zoom meeting.
Yeah, it's a giant Zoom meeting between, New York and Dublin. And you're just getting the vibe of the city, of each city from the other city. Well, this OnlyFans gal decides to take advantage of it, which A, good for her. B, I want to see more of her. And C, I want to see more of her. But she decides, all right, Dublin, you know what you deserve? You deserve my titties in your face. And she just flashes Dublin on the portal. And so all of Dublin, or at least the people who were watching the portal at the time, get to see this girl's very nice breasts. To me, that's an innocent, like, college frat party, sorority party shenanigans. Like, that's great. I saw some titties. It's a good night. It's good. It's a great night.
Yep.
They shut down the fucking portal. Well, first of all, didn't Dublin respond? Didn't some girl in Dublin respond?
I think
I
there
thought I
was
saw
one. I could not find the Irish boobs. I couldn't find that anywhere. But I did
Yeah.
see that they were retaliating with 9/11 memes. So
Oh,
somebody
right.
was showing their phone, and there was 9/11 memes, which very classy Dublin. But yeah, that was that was the only thing that I could come up with.
Yeah, I mean, good for her. Good for all those folks. You know, show those girls off. They're beautiful. You have a lot to be proud of.
Her New York potatoes, as she called them.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now I've got a twist for you. All right, so this is the same individual. All right, so she's an Instagram whore, and she's the same individual who went on Instagram and posted a video of her doing the coronavirus challenge.
Oh, where she was licking the shitter?
Yes, that was her.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God, she just
tell me that doesn't just ruin it for you.
It's ruined totally. She's ugly to me now.
Yes.
You can have the best tits in the world, but that's just foul. Did you see the German politician who was licking the toilet seat?
Yes, and then right after that, somebody found a picture of him covered in feces.
And shit. That's right. These are the people that are leading us, that are influencing us, that are culturally responsible for guiding our youth into the next decade.
And again, there's no shaming going on here, but why do you have to stick it in everybody's faces? Why do you have to go online? I'm a politician. I'm running for office, and here's me licking a toilet. I don't understand.
It wasn't like
it's a.
Yeah, it wasn't like his toilet at home. It was a public toilet.
It was a public toilet.
Fuck me. What? You know, we deserve to just be annihilated.
Well,
I mean,
it's like that meme where you're calling it a flood.
That meme. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the one I was going to talk about. It's just Jesus taking a big drag off a cigarette saying, flood it again. I mean, my God, let's just be done with it.
I just don't know. I didn't even add that to the doc because it was so disgusting. So I'm glad you brought it up. I'll have to add it to the doc later. Hey, we do have an alert. You guys need to be aware of this. Everybody in chat, please. If you're going to any Pride events, the U.S. State Department has issued a worldwide travel alert and warns of terror threats against LGBTQ, XYZ, 3.69, pi
1A,
events.
2A. Yeah.
So that's a legit thing. So please, just be careful if you're going to any events from here into eternity. It doesn't say anything else.
You know, when the U.S. State Department comes out with something that's oddly specific like this, like it wasn't like, hey, be aware if you're traveling to foreign countries. You know, we're seeing a spike in chatter, and so there could be a terrorist event. No, what they said was specifically at LGBTQ events.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that just screams black flag to me.
It screams black flag, and it doesn't make any sense with anything else that's going on. We're at the tail end because we on the show we obviously talk about narratives. So we'll go back 2 weeks. We were in the throes of protests on campus, right?
Yep.
That's gone away. You notice this last week there's been very little talk about it.
Yep.
So now are we pivoting into another narrative that because I'm pretty sure June is Pride Month. Let me look. Hold on. Let me consult the Googles.
When I said black flag, I was not trying to insult the band. I was combining Black Swan and False Flag into Black Flag. That's what I was doing. This beer is really making me mix words in a cool way in my head. So Black Flag. That's what we're going to call it from now on.
It's good. I'll play some Black Flag during the break. How's that grab you?
There you go. That grabs
Before we go to break, though, okay. And to build off of the June Pride Month the slaughter that the government's predicting. Can you go through the pizza meter, because this blew my fucking mind this week.
Yeah. I don't know how we haven't talked about this on the show before, because I mean, for me, I just thought it was kind of a common knowledge thing. And every once in a while, I'll just put in the, Google search, like Wikipedia is calling it the pizza meter. I've never heard it called that. I've always heard it called the Pentagon Papa John's effect. So I'll just put into the Google search, Pentagon Papa John's meter. And people are out there looking at this thing. But what the basic concept is that people started to go back and look at pizza sales, specifically Papa John's, but really all the surrounding pizza joints around the White House and around the Pentagon. They went all the way back to 9/11, and they saw a spike right before 9/11, like on September 9th and 10th. There was a huge spike in pizza sales around the Pentagon. And then for every major event that's happened since, I mean, you got, the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, before we kicked all those off. And the premise is that the Pentagon is saying, hey, everybody needs to fucking stay in-house. We need analysis. We need strategic planning. So you're not going home. You're going to fucking shower here, and you might as well order in some pizza. And so the pizza sales spike by up, as much as 50 or 60%. Well, last Saturday, Sunday, and then into this week's Monday, pizza sales at the Pentagon Papa John's spiked 45%. So everyone's, lit up about it, because that means everybody's working late. Everyone's, skipping dinner with the family, and they're staying there in the office for something. And so everybody was kind of looking to, this week, next week, or possibly even the following week for something big to kick off. Very interesting that, and I love, what I love about this is that people are like, hey, cause and effect, let's reverse engineer this and find out what happened before these big events to see if we can find any clues to what might happen in future events. Well, this is one of the precursors. You see a spike in pizza sale right before something big goes down. So don't say we didn't warn you. There's a lot of people eating a lot of pizza in and around the Pentagon this week.
I wonder what kind of pizza. Like is it only Papa John's? Chicago is like New York pizza, like the thing to call in. Like that's where I want to get. Like, can we go ahead and break it down to, if it's something that's going to be happening in here, we'll say like 9/11. Was it Chicago that they ordered, or was it like a New York? It has to be a New York pizza, right?
I mean, I don't know. Those East Coast people are weird, and so they like the thin crust. I'm not a thin crust person.
And greasy, right?
Listen, yeah, greasy and thin. I mean, I'll eat it. I'm not saying I haven't had some good thin crust pizza in my life. I'm just saying that's not what I prefer. I like my pizza like I like my dick. Like, I want it thick and juicy and chewy, And so, I'm sorry if I just named the show, but
thick and juicy, and I'll figure that out.
And greasy. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know that. That would be super interesting. Like, before a terrorist attack, it's pepperoni New York style, but before a major catastrophe, like, I don't know, a barge hitting a bridge or something, that's all Hawaiian. Like, they order Hawaiian only that week. I don't know. That would be interesting.
Okay. When the Maui thing happened, maybe they did Hawaiian pizza.
There you go. Oh, there you go. Boom.
East Palestine. I don't know what kind of Ohio pizza is just depressing, right?
Yeah, I think that's just bread.
It's gotta be. It's just,
it doesn't. There's no sauce or cheese or anything. It's just baked bread
and tears. Bread and tears.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And with a couple of drips of sperm on there. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mike's nickname in Cock. That's nice. Mike's Pizza. Jesus fuck. Mike's name in college was White Pizza. Detroit pizza for ecological disasters. I really like that, Aaron. That's really, really good.
That's great. That's great. White
Stuffed
pizza.
crust
You know
is,
what? I can't. Stuffed crust. Jesus, that's for like when people get. Never mind. I'm gonna not even go there.
Don't do it.
Mike, we need to know more about the white pizza name. I'm not saying now. I'm saying this is for the after show. You need to talk to me about. You need to help me understand.
Help me help you.
Yeah, that's all. That's just help me understand. So
Mexican
we'll get
pizza
there.
for the border invasion. Thank you, Justin. Yes.
Oh,
Good
God. See, this goes deep. This goes really deep. Again, pizza is like good dick.
Pizza,
you know, it
goes
goes
pizza
deep.
is life. Pizza is life.
Pizza is life. Pizza is life. You know, the Italians have given us a lot of great things. I don't think they've given us anything better than pizza.
I don't know. There's some Italian women, dude.
I'm not arguing that.
And
I'm
you
just
got to
saying, like,
appreciate the mafia. I mean, the mafia is pretty cool.
Okay, but I haven't had sex with any Italian women, at least not to my knowledge.
Oh.
I've not had any run-ins with the mafia, but I've eaten my fair share of pizza.
Yes, thank you, Justin. Yes, and gas
and
pumps.
Smooth gas pumps.
Italians
yes.
gave us gas pumps that gas nozzles up the ass. Are you ready for beer too?
Yeah, I really am. Yes, let's do this.
All right, let's hit it. So, Fitz, I'm probably breaking a rule here. I don't know. We'll see. But
okay.
one of the points I was trying to make earlier is that you've got a big difference between the way European brewers, especially Belgians and Germans, I mean, the home of beer. We'll be honest about that. Treat their beers, right?
Yeah.
Well, I brought a beer back from Texas.
I'm going to stop you right there. You're definitely breaking some kind of rule. If you brought it from Texas, you're doing something wrong. And also something very, very right.
Well, so this is an ale. It's called Chernobyl by Martin House. And again, it's an ale. But it's a 15% energy drink.
What? What the fuck did you just say to me?
Yes, it's a 15% energy drink.
Those are fighting words. You're going to be up until 4 a.m. and you're also going to be shit-faced.
Apparently, that's what's going to happen.
You're going to be like, I just want to pass out, but I can't.
Can I just go?
Oh, man.
Again, a couple of weeks ago when I was in Texas, I talked at length about how Martin House was like, they're kind of evil genius type stuff. I'd compare them to Drecker in how they approach their brewing. Very, very methodical, but definitely out there, right? No, they don't, there's no fear involved. I don't
right.
think that's the way I understood it. Now it's a little hard to find this particular beer. But yeah, it's a 15%. It's an ale. It's energy drink syrup, contains caffeine. I don't know how much. It actually smells like if you, like on a sweaty day, if you stuck your nose in your shoe. Not that I've ever done that before. That's what it smells like. So it actually smells like an energy drink.
So like cat piss.
Oh, man. Wow. Oh, that's going to be hard to get through. Oh, damn it. Woo! Oh, it's tart. But okay, so you know how Monsters... Actually, it tastes like the original Monster.
Okay. The green
the
one.
original, yep, the original Monster. And it's there's not much to it after that. It bubbles like a beer. You can definitely taste it. It's an ale. There's nothing pleasant about it. There's nothing about this that I don't think is built to. Oh man, that's gonna be hard to get through.
So just to clarify, that beer so you're drinking the Chernobyl?
Yeah, I'm drinking the Chernobyl.
Okay, so the Chernobyl is Jefe, and you're the turkey.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, if you want to put it that way.
Sorry, Jefe. Oh shit!
Wow, this is going to be a trip. I don't really know what to do with it, but I'm going to drink it, and that just shows the I mean, I can't really think of a better way unless we were going to go and compare styles straight up, which is probably more fair. But you can't get more different in the approaches to beer. This is a fucked up one-off that somebody probably, and the way they work, they were challenged to do it. Oh man.
Well, I mean,
it smells like feet. Oh, Jesus Christ.
There's there's some things that are inherently American. I talked a few shows back about, when the CIA is training their agents to sort of, blend in with the local populace. There's some things that you have to stop doing. One of those things is leaning against walls when you're standing up. Nobody else does that. Americans just lean against everything. Another thing is the way you cut your food. Europeans cut their food and then they just eat with the fork in their left hand. And a lot of Americans cut up all their food and then they switch their fork to the right hand to eat, which is weird. I don't do that, but a lot of Americans do. And then the third thing is that Americans are, loud and forward thinking and very friendly, very gregarious, very outgoing. We announce our presence. And I feel like that's kind of what you're talking about with the beer. Like our beers are very, very loud, very forward thinking, very like in your face. I don't want subtlety here. I want you to experience every fucking flavor I put in this thing. And I feel like you've got that. Like that is a quintessential American beverage that you are drinking right now in every way.
Man. I think they actually could have, if they had made it more of a sour, that would be a dangerous beer. Like that would be something, I mean, you're getting hopped up on a ton of caffeine. It's super high ABV. That could be just atrocious. So maybe they actually made this unappealing enough to just prove that they could do it without making it something that somebody would actually want to drink several of. Could you imagine though, if this was a sour that you really, really like, and you're
like that one we had at Desert Monks. Remember that fucking candy?
Exactly.
Candy?
Now,
oh God.
Now add caffeine to that and make it 15%.
No, that's that. I mean, you'd kill people
because this doesn't
have people dead.
I don't taste the alcohol in it at all.
No, of course not.
It tastes like a Monster, and I don't drink Monsters until tonight apparently. But anyway, that's what I'm running here. So.
I'd be curious to see what I think of that beer, just because I do drink Monsters. I probably have, in a typical week, I probably have 24 to 30 of them. Just kidding. I'm totally joking. I have one a day, and mostly at work. On the weekends, I don't really drink them, but I do have one a day, and I don't go for the fully loaded. I go for more of the unleaded. I do the white Monsters, which is like 0 sugar, which probably is worse for me actually, than the green ones that are fully loaded. But I do like the white Monsters. A couple other flavors I'll tolerate, but so I'd be interested to see what I would think of that beer that you're having, because you don't really drink Monsters, but I do, and I don't drink coffee. Like coffee's just out for me. So
yeah, see, I'm the opposite. I'm all about coffee, but I stay away from the Monsters. So
yeah.
What you got over there?
Well, I went complete polar opposite of that. I went very, I won't say boring, but I will say very, very typical, very safe. and I mostly did this beer tonight because I wanted to highlight a really cool brewery here in Eugene called Falling Sky. Obviously, it rains a lot here in Eugene, and so their whole thing is, the like rain clouds and but Falling Sky Brewery. Also, I have to say they are a fully kosher restaurant and deli, so they have really fucking good food, and that all Jews can eat, and also other people. And I enjoy their food a lot. Great tap house, gastropub attached to it. It's just really cool place. But this one I'm having tonight is called Puddles, and it is their porter. So it's their Puddles porter. It's 5.3 ABV, so nothing that's gonna end your night. In fact, you could probably have a 6-pack of these and still have a great night. But it is a kind of roasted chocolate porter with the roasted brings out the coffee notes, so there's a little bit of the coffee bitterness, but then it finishes a little bit with the dark chocolate flavor on the end, and just an easy fucking drinker. I mean, and what I love about this beer, this one is safe to buy any time of year. You could this is a summer beer, you can enjoy it. You can enjoy it in the middle of winter. It's a plug and play beer. You can put it anywhere and it's going to be great. So shout out to my friends over at Falling Sky. I will say this about Falling Sky. I wish they did a few more daring beers. I wish they would get a little bit more daring so I could kind of showcase them more on the show. But really, whenever I want just a solid, safe beer that I know I can always drink, this porter's great. They do a really great brown, which I may do on next week's show. And I even like their pale ale, which is rare for me to say because I don't go towards pales, but their pale is very tasty. So solid brewery. They do some cool shit, and again, the food is amazing. So when and if, or I'll just say when you and Jefe get up here, we'll have to go check out Falling Sky. I think be a great place for us to just have lunch someday.
I don't think you've had a Falling Sky on here. I don't recall one. I'm usually pretty good about that. I don't think you've had one on here.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And that's the thing. I love their beers, and because they're so sort of safe, like I said earlier, they're not like show beers or whatever. But tonight, I just felt like they deserved their day in court.
Well, awesome. All right.
Yeah.
FallingSkyBrewing.com if you guys want to check them out. A nice Eugene brewery. That's very, very cool. I like a good, I want something. So actually, honestly, to be honest with you, reds and Scotch ales, those are the ones those have been my go-to lately. I just want, when I know you can't fuck up this style. Yeah. It's going to be a beer. I don't want a lager. I'm not a lager guy. The Czech, Helles, whatever. I just give me a Scotch ale. I even have one downstairs that I've been, every time I see it, it's called Clandestine, and it's just a fantastic Scotch ale. It's just a nice, super style, and it's simple.
Yeah.
No bullshit. I don't have to worry about where is too much alcohol? How much is the coffee and all this kind of stuff? Is it trying to light my face on fire? Those things don't come up. It's just a great beer to sit and drink. So that's awesome.
Agreed.
All right. This week we saw some strange activity in the market. Roaring Kitty Fitz, you remember that guy?
I do. Who would have thought that one guy could literally influence the markets just by putting out a tweet or a post? What do we call him on X now? We still are calling him tweets.
They've never gotten past that, and that's sad.
It is sad.
I call them posts now, but it's just crap.
But yeah, anyway, he decided to fire up his account again, it's been fired up, but he decided to be like, okay, today's the day. Let's fuck the short sellers. And oh boy, did they. Just today, I believe they lost $1 billion in shorts. Just today.
there for the week, and he keeps posting these innocuous random clips.
Yes.
It's not like he's trying to influence, but just because he's saying something, the whole ape atmosphere is totally getting behind it. So
Yeah.
what's ended up happening was, so here's a clip where it's Forrest Gump running. This was 9 hours ago, but it's got Roaring Kitty's face on it.
Yeah.
I guess my point is that this guy came in this week, decided to start tweeting again, and it lit up AMC stocks and GameStop stocks. Massive.
Yep.
And you had shorts getting fucked. Citron got destroyed this week. This evening, like you were saying, just this evening, after close, he waited, posted something, and then all of a sudden you've got a ton of after hours action, and then you've got all the shorts that are getting killed on it. Back when the big push happened back in 2021, right around that area. Okay.
Yep.
We went through a phase where you could see short sellers buying or grabbing all of these short shares and shorting negatively. Okay. There weren't actual shares there to buy, but they were still able to buy them. It's just, that's how fucked up our
well, yeah, I mean that
market.
That's the whole thing, is like the system itself is what he's exploiting. Well, what
he totally is.
He's getting the rest of us to exploit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this whole week, hedge funds got absolutely destroyed. As of May 14th, so let's see, today's the 17th, that would have been Tuesday, there were $5 billion. Yesterday was kind of quiet, not a whole lot, but today, like another $1 billion was lost. Now, yep. I'm not knocking. If you're a hedge fund, you're built to fuck stocks. That's your whole mantra. That's why you're there.
Right.
But it's interesting to me that this is popping up all of a sudden now. And I kind of wonder if we're going into summer, everything sucks. It's gonna be the summer of love. We're gonna see a bunch of protests. Why not go ahead and exploit the stock market some more?
Well, and I mean, if you see what we've seen, and what I'm going to assume, Roaring Kitty here is seeing, there's a major crash coming. So if that's true, then why not make a few bucks while you fuck the big guys, before everything goes to shit and everyone loses their ass? Why not make some money on it? I feel like there's got to be at least a little bit of motivation, because, I say we all, but people who are watching the market, people who know how it works, people who know that it is so artificially inflated. I mean, you want to talk about, the housing bubble in 2008, how it was artificially propped up by all of these.
Well, you saw, you posted in our chat, the Dow hit 40,000 today. It's never hit that before. On what?
It's on what? It's all fake. It's all false. It's all based on AI projections. And so why not make some money off of that? Because the major collapse is coming. And who knows? Maybe that's why everybody is staying late at the Pentagon and ordering pizza. I don't know. And so we have a video from Ian Carroll. I don't know if you wanted to play that here. I think it's a little long to just play straight through on the show. But he gives a really, really amazing synopsis as far as A, what short selling is, B, what's happening in the market right now, and then C, what it means for like the future of, everyone from Roaring Kitty, who is a guy, all the way up to, that, like you said, that ape culture of, jumping on board. When he says jump, everyone says how high. And then how that fucks the major firms.
Well, and yeah, that's the battle cry. And we'll play a little bit of Ian here in a second. That's the battle cry, right? but there's so much money that's actually being moved. Okay, I get retail sellers want to get on and they feel really good about we're gonna fuck the head, we're gonna fuck the big, we're gonna fuck the man, fuck everybody. We got this. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna rape Wall Street. That's what it comes off. But in the end, they can't move Wall Street the way what's happening though. And
No,
to me, this is they're cannibalizing hedge funds. They're going after just
Yes.
like we saw a couple
Right.
of hedge funds go down that bet against GameStop, and they just we're going to go and ride them into the dirt. And since they never closed their shorts, they're done for. So to me, this is there's some cannibalization going on again.
For sure. I mean, this is guerrilla, stock market plays. This is Che Guevara, running through the jungles and just hitting, armory depots.
But it's
you're never
done though. I mean, this is like BlackRock level of money that's
but
being moved though.
I know, but what I'm saying is, you're as the small guy, as the individual investor, you're never going to beat those guys. That's not the point. The point is, I'm going to make something off of this, and I'm going to fuck them in the process.
Right.
Like,
I just don't know how many people actually think that they aren't fucking the man though. That's where I come back to. You and I know that.
Right. But why not? If we're retreating, the superior army is advancing. Why not? Fuck them a little bit as we go.
Totally.
hurt them a little bit. Slice out an ankle here and there, and make them pay for it. Yeah, you're gonna take this land.
I through their teeth.
But you're not gonna get shit from it.
Let's throw it out to let's listen to Ian for a few minutes.
Like their life depends on it. That's because Roaring Kitty just came back and GameStop broke the internet. And then this morning it broke the stock market. And it turns out that GameStop investors are everywhere. So I'm gonna catch you up on everything they've been hiding from you for 3 years that we dug up. First and foremost, we learned that all mainstream media is just the propaganda arm of the big money trying to short this company. Just a small collection of articles regurgitating that you need to forget GameStop. Surprise! And today the lies have already started. They're trying to smear Keith Gill as though he drove the meme stock mania. We'll talk about this whole meme stock word in a second. But first, let's remember, no, he didn't drive anything. Short sellers drove the meme stock mania of 2021 by borrowing and short selling more than double the number of shares that even exist all at the same time. Most short squeezes happen between 10 and 20% short interest, meaning 20% of all the shares that exist have been borrowed and short sold. Well, we're at 27% short interest on GameStop right now today, and that's after they've learned to hide all their giant short positions. This is just everyone that didn't get the memo that you're not supposed to report that shit correctly anymore. Allegedly, obviously. Because back in 2021, they had 226% short interest going into that squeeze. And then in the official SEC report, they showed that short sellers never really bought the stock. Red bars show short sellers buying. No, what they actually did is they committed crime in front of all of us, turned off the buy button, shuffled a bunch of things around, never bought back in because they couldn't have afforded to cover those positions. We're talking at least hundreds of billions of dollars worth of losses. Had that all played out according to actual market mechanics. And then they colluded behind the scenes about turning off payment for order flow brokers like Robinhood. Allegedly. But now let's talk about this term meme stocks, right? The word they invented to describe all these stocks that act really weird, obviously all because of you buying because of social media. You and your $20 totally moves markets. And then they use that term meme stock to sort of precondition your mind when they're reporting on it to think of them as some special type of stock. And then they lie to you by telling you things like have been in a persistent and largely uninterrupted decline. Yeah, persistent and largely uninterrupted, except for that day and that day and that day and that day. See, what this term meme stock refers to is a basket of highly manipulated stocks that are all tied together through very complex financial things behind the scenes that for a long time the GameStop community was only speculating about until out of nowhere one day, this firm called Archegos, run by Bill Hwang, just blew the fuck up. Basically imploded overnight on billions and billions of dollars worth of trades. And when we started to analyze why he blew up, it's because he was trading all kinds of meme stocks and other investments in swap baskets back and forth, using all these super complex derivatives to hide the value of his true positions. So the counterparties he was trading with didn't know how much risk he had open, and the SEC didn't know what the hell was going on.
So, as you can see, we're going through, it looks like they're playing the hits.
Yeah, I mean, that all got really convoluted. You should all go out and watch the video if you. So, baseline knowledge here. A short is basically, in the stock market, there's no rules that say that a firm or even an individual person can't take out a loan of stocks. And so shorts are basically saying, I'm going to take out a loan on this stock at $1 a share because right now it's worth $6 a share, but I think it's only going to be worth $1 a share in a year. So I'm going to take out a loan on that. And then when it hits that, you make the difference. You make the $5 difference of where you bought it and where it used to be. If you close it.
If you close it.
So what's happening is, Roaring Kitty or whoever else, I mean, it's been other people start this like buying spree. So it forces the stock up. When they see that short coming due, in May, they say, fuck those guys who took out loans on a $1 stock. We're going to force it to $10. We're going to double it because fuck those guys. And that's what they did. And so now those guys, there's a date, there's a due date on that loan. And those shorts are all coming to call right now. And if it's not at $1, you're going to lose money. How much money? Well, the stock actually went up. And so it really fucks these big firms. And again, as McShane said, these guys, that's what they do. And these big firms, they know they're going to take a loss on some things. They're going to take a hit. But these were significant hits. And it also was because of individual people, the little guy. And that feels kind of good. It feels very vindicating that you can influence something to make the big guys pay. But at the end of the day, we're not going to win. And that's okay.
Well, it just sucks that, we're used. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
So it started at, let's see, back on, let's go and look at a month interval. So it was probably about May 11th. It was right around $18. This week, It topped out at $48.75, and now it's back down to 22.21.
Yeah, but when it popped up to 45 is when those fucking loans came due, May 14th.
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm really wondering who got. And you remember a few weeks back, I told you, I'm going to go out. I'm going to go and get some AMC stock. Just on a whim, I'm going to go and do it. I didn't hold on to it. I think I made like $400 off when I got out. I wish I kept it, obviously, but there was a little bit of talk about a month ago about that. And I mean, everything gets telegraphed, right? I mean, there's always a warning, and it's one of the things that we try to talk on here is that, hey, heads up, this is happening. Like, heads up, this was talked about. Now think critically, act accordingly. But in this case, I'm wondering what the rest of the summer is going to look like. So I'm paying a little bit more attention. I actually went out and bought about 1,200 shares of Fisker, which was it's absolute garbage now, but they're going to be going through. And I'll tell you why I did this. And I'm not saying go do this. I'm not a financial expert, but my logic here was that if there's a chance that we're going to go back to this meme stock run, that was one of the stocks that was really caught up in the first run of EVs. Right when Tesla popped about 3 years ago, Rivian, there was a couple other ones. I can't remember the name of what they actually were. Is a special kind of stock when it was launched. Anyway, so I went ahead and I got that. And even that today, I bought it at 6 cents and it popped up to like 10. Actually, it was at 11 and a half cents. And it settled down around 9. But even that was getting action. So I'm really curious what's going to end up happening this summer. I don't think it's going to be nearly the size of what we went through when COVID happened. But remember that drop in March? I think it was 2020, that V correction that ended up having. I mean, that was a massive. And we've been talking about there's got to be a crash coming. There has to be a reset coming of the market.
Oh, it for sure.
It's too fucking high. I'm looking for that dump now. I'm more settled into that dump now, and I think we're getting a lot. If you get people excited, get people frothing at their mouth, get everybody's money into the market, and then fucking wreck it.
Yep.
There's your wealth transfer again. It worked exceptionally well for everybody during COVID, right?
Yep.
I know you've called this several times. I am so squarely in this now. I'm expecting it to happen over the next couple of weeks. I will call it.
Yeah. I fully agree with you. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner, but to your point, it's almost like they had to trigger everybody dumping their money into the market.
Yep.
So that they could just suck it all out, just like a fucking Hoover vacuum.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And the repercussions this time, we know what happened in 2008. We know what happened when the market dumped after 9/11.
Yep.
This one feels more dire to me because we are also, let's add this in, not to bore everybody, but we are also in the midst of a recession, which is going to lead to stagflation. So it's not even like we have an economy that can build back after the stock market dumps. We don't even have that. We can't build back off of anything because there's no business to be had. There's no labor market out there. And then on top of it, I don't know if this is where we want to go, but on top of it, Senator Manchin just introduced a bill that's going to abolish the Fed. He wants to abolish the Federal Reserve, which came out of nowhere. There was no fucking tea leaves, no bones to read here. Just out of nowhere, he's just like, yeah, I'm going to introduce this bill, and we should abolish the Federal Reserve. And believe me, I am not a fan of the Federal Reserve. I hate the Federal Reserve. I hate what they're doing. They are a private business that loans money to the U.S. government at interest, and we owe our lives to the Fed because of it. In fact, your children's children will owe their lives to the Fed because of it.
Yeah, it's sold, bought and sold. Absolutely,
right.
And it was Thomas Massey.
I thought it was
Thomas Massey. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you. It was Massey,
No.
And he's trying to repeal the Federal Reserve Act from 1913.
Right. So, I mean, thank you for the correction. For some reason, I thought it was Manchin, which didn't seem right because that Manchin's he's a fuck stain on every level. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But either way, my problem with all of that is, and I don't think it has a fucking snowball's chance in hell to pass. But if it did, then what? Then what? And that's the really scary proposition to me, because the then what is the CBDCs. The then what is all of the economic control goes to our actual government, which is more corrupt than the Fed is, if you can believe that. So this was actually a terrifying development this week, particularly when you put it in light of a shit poor economy, probably the worst we've had in the last 20 years. For sure, the worst we've had in the last 20 years. And then on top of it, this possible stock market crash coming very soon. On top of it, we're in 2 wars. That's a really, really crazy recipe for a fucked up you die cake. That's what I'm calling it. You die cake. I mean, like the economy, everything's just going to go to shit, and we're all going to be left to our own devices.
So I just added that to the doc. We didn't intend to get into that too, one of the things that I find interesting about that though, Fitz, is that you see how this got into zero traction, right?
None. Zero.
I mean, what was trumping that is Booby Girl, New York to Ireland. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the guy who put a nozzle up his ass in Italy. And then we've got some Biden stuff to get into, but all that stuff trumped this act. I don't know how to take it yet. I think it's something that's interesting to be out there. Like you were saying, I agree. I don't think it's going to get any traction. I think it's dead on arrival. But it is it's something I didn't see coming right now. And I know I'm pretty sure this was broached. I think we had a story on this, I want to say like 5 or 6 months ago. I think there was something else that popped up about it. I didn't do any homework on it, but I think we've already talked about another effort that was like this. So I don't know if it was him or if it was somebody else, but I feel like we've kind of been there before. But it's interesting that he threw it out there. And again, we've been waiting for CBDCs to be introduced. And I believe you have in Australia just yesterday or the day before, they decided that digital IDs are the thing.
Yep.
And
everybody needs to adopt it or you don't get to play ball. Well, and this bill, this is kind of one of those, like you said, it's DOA, but it's one of those things where, someone says, whatever you do, don't think about the white elephant in the room. And instantly now you're thinking about the white elephant in the room. So it's like this got proposed and you can't unsee it now. It's like, oh, that we could do that. That's a possibility. That's something that might happen. That seems like this was like an opening volley to that. Like, don't think about the big black cock. Boom. That's all I'm thinking.
And now
about.
You've got a big black cock just sitting there, wiggling around, doing its thing.
Right in your face, or your butt, whatever you prefer. But there it is. So yeah, all of these things, all these little events. This is what gets crazy about doing this show, and what I love about this show. But there's all these connections that I would have never put together 5 years ago. No way. I would have I wouldn't have seen half of these stories, and the ones I did see, I'd be like, well, that's weird. And then I'd move on with my life. Now you start, we've talked about it before. You start to see the Matrix. What did Cypher say? I don't even see the Matrix anymore. The blonde, redhead, brunette, that's how we're seeing all this. Like you just start to see the patterns, and that there's a reason all this shit popped up this week at the same time.
Yep.
You can't ignore it.
Yeah, you really can't. Again, going back to the beginning of the show, and we said a lot of things popped up this week. It was a very quiet 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden, bam.
Yeah. Yep.
We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Now, let's pivot to this. This is important too.
Oh, God. I fucking hate this guy.
Ahead than he's ever been. Fewer people think January 6th was any kind of what it was, is an assault on the temple of democracy, the Constitution. I don't know whatever the fuck you want to say. It's going the wrong way. It's not working. Everything that we're throwing is spaghetti at a wall, and none of it is sticking, me included. And it's hard when you're starting your 80th year, and you like anybody else, I have an opinion of myself. And the opinion I've come to is, I don't matter. It doesn't matter. You can prepare, you can be on TV, or you can write pieces, you can have a YouTube channel, you can have a podcast, and nothing. And, we got to try to think of something different, because what we're doing is really, really not working.
Senile old James Carville, right? The alleged genius behind the Democratic Party, we'll just say like in the 90s. puts out this Instagram that declares that nothing that they're doing is working. Nothing is working. They can't get Biden put back in office. He doesn't understand why. He's completely against it. He's completely beside himself. I love chat. Mike, Freddy Krueger is fed up with the kids bullshit. Justin, wish.com.
What is that shirt?
Thank you. Oh, that's so on point. You guys fucking nailed it.
Holy shit. Yeah.
So that started off the week, right? Interesting. That, you know, that was May 12th.
Yeah.
So what happens the rest of the week? We have a story that comes out from the Washington Times. Illegal immigrants urged to register to vote. Okay, so we've got it. It's documented, and you guys can go. I'll post it so that you guys can go to. Actually, I put it in the chat. You guys can go to 12 foot. I think was it 12 foot IO. I think, and you guys can look at the. Go ahead and drop the link into that, and then you guys will be able to go and you'll be able to get it. And then we've got suddenly a debate that's going to happen. Fitz, one in June, and then I think one in July or August.
Yeah,
Biden suddenly comes out and he wants to debate Trump. I want to debate him. Well, it was almost Tyson versus what was it? RuPaul? What's that guy's name? Jason Paul? Fuck Paul? That fucking guy. It was almost one of those kind of things where he was
Aaron
trying
Paul?
to incite.
No, not
Aaron,
Aaron
that whatever. Paul.
Aaron Paul.
Paul.
Yeah.
I like RuPaul. We'll call him RuPaul.
Jake.
Anyway.
Jake Paul. Jake.
Yeah. There you go. But they came out and he was like all excited to go ahead and get a fucking debate going. And this is not something that the Democratic Party wanted to do previously. And I don't
know because he's senile. He's senile. He's a senile. He's 8/10 of the way into dementia. Of course they didn't want this to happen. So I mean, they have two choices. They can either wheel out, the Crypt Keeper and, reel out the corpse and just let him hang himself. And then they can justify having a new guy come in, that's one of the theories out there. One of the conspiracy theories out there. That's what they're going to do. Or they're going to have to get one of his body doubles who's actually still cogent and can think to come out and have the debate with Trump. Because they can't do... I mean, there's no win there.
There really isn't.
No, and we do have a Jefe sighting here.
Jefe.
Remember 4 years ago they did the debate thing, and all of Trump guys were saying that they shot Joe up with something to make him coherent for the debate. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that, and I can't actually. I have no proof that they didn't.
Right.
And because he was so coherent that night. And they could try that again, but I think he's way further gone now than he was for that debate. I mean, some of the footage coming out where he, stops and I mean, he's like hunched over, he's bent over, his mouth is always fucking open. He's not there. There's no one home. I don't care what anyone says. I'll fucking die on that hill. He's not home. So anytime you see him up in front of a crowd or, in the White House press briefing, that's not him. That's his body double. And it's been proven time after time with the earlobes, the shape of the face, his voice. It's not the same dude. So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to pull, but they're going to pull something. Maybe it'll be some fucking AI creature that'll debate Trump. I don't know.
But it's absolute horseshit, though. It's absolute horseshit, though, because they're going to do it. First of all, they're going to do it on CNN. Okay, left, hardcore left,
right. Let's
bought
not get
and paid
neutral.
for.
Yeah,
it's whatever you can, whatever DNC check clears, right?
Yep.
They're not going to do it in front of an audience. They're going to use mics that they can shut off when they don't like what somebody's saying. It is absolutely fucking rigged. Everything about this. And again, full disclosure, disclaimer of the night. We are not Trumpers. Okay?
No.
We are completely not. But
no.
you cannot dismiss how many the absolute game playing that has happened, whether it's the weaponizing of the DOJ, whether it's the absolute manipulation of the voting, it's absolutely fucking rigged. I don't see this ever happening. I don't think this. I think they did this to go ahead and rally the DNC. I think this did something to get the liberals a fucking hard on. I think that's the only point that happened there. That is the only reason it was done. I don't see it ever happening. If Trump goes in there and he does anything but a Reagan, there you go again.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
There's nothing
all he has
to do there.
Because what does Biden have? He's got nothing.
He has nothing.
Sling mud. Yeah.
He's barely an invalid. He shouldn't be out there.
Yeah, we've talked about it before. It's elder abuse for sure.
It absolutely is.
What they're doing to him. He should be in a fucking warm bed with a nice knitted blanket, eating pudding.
Shut the fuck up.
Be wheeled out like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch some Wheel of Fortune and be done with yourself. You're fucking done.
Yeah.
And Justin, to your point, I mean, yes, if I was going to vote for something, yes, I would probably go ahead and vote for Trump. I probably would be doing that. But for the sake of the show, I can't. I just want somebody fucking competent in there. And tapioca pudding, I hear it's nice. Jefe, I have a clip to play. Do you want to do a farm report real quick and derail things, or do you want me to go to this clip? It's your call, baby. I'm turning over the reins to you.
Nice.
Well, we can do the clip as long as there's time for the farm report, because this one's been a long time coming. So you can go with the clip.
No, fuck that. We're doing the farm report. You ready?
Yeah. I'm definitely up for the farm report.
Bring it.
Is your fly down?
Oh yeah, I'm actively masturbating right now.
All right, here we go. I love actively masturbating. That might be the term of the night. We'll see.
My favorite thing. So, this is about everybody's favorite kind of farm, the snail farm.
Yes.
Oh, a snail farm?
Yes. Did you know that the French alone consume 66 million pounds of escargot every year? That insane?
Jesus.
And before you eat a wild snail, you have to starve it. Quote, once they stop defecating, then you know they're pretty well cleaned out. So farmers, they hope for a love match, for several thousand actually, because, unfortunately, snails are hermaphrodites, so they can inseminate and they can also be inseminated. Never knew that. And then they lay their eggs. Oh my God. Okay. If all goes well, then one of the partners can slide away with a clutch of 50 to 100 fertilized eggs. Now you know. That's your farm report. Snail sex.
I did not see that coming, and I am so sorry that I wasn't more prepared for that segment. That was brilliant. Well done. Well done.
Wow.
Do you think you know how they've been like putting microphones that pick up different frequencies next to plants, and they actually are like recording plants screaming when we tear their leaves off and stuff, and it's like horrible. Do you think snails or whatever animal, but especially snails, do you think that they're like, oh,
yeah, right there,
oh, yeah, right, yeah, a little bit lower, pull my antenna, spit some slime on my back, like, are they? I mean, I hope so. I hope they're getting off on it. I hope they love it.
Do you think French snails are more pretentious than like American snails? Like, I'm not going to fuck you.
Definitely.
No, well, I mean, maybe, but they're better kissers for sure.
Jesus Christ.
Hello.
I think we just let that hang for a second. That's
just let it be.
Shout out to Buttercup too for the assist on that one. She did the heavy lifting on that one.
Well, I mean, you know what? That just goes to show this show is a team effort. No one person can do this show. So,
right. Moving mountains one day at a time.
Yep.
Backs against the wall.
I feel like now that needs to be the name of a porno.
Escargot.
Like, yeah, escargot, in the butt we go, or something. Like just you could play with the title, but
Oh, that's not all I want to play with.
Right.
Here's I'm going to do the most abrupt change up ever. Here's Vivek
do it.
Ramaswamy.
Do it.
Former 2024 Republican presidential candidate, saw him in court on Tuesday. Vivek, you say this might be a setup. Why?
Yeah. I believe it is a setup, Laura, and here's how it's working. Why did Biden pull this 180 all of a sudden, and why did the Democrats let him do it? Let's put together some facts here. On one hand, CNN is hosting it. They're going to prop up Biden, try to make him look as good as possible. But also note, this is the earliest ever presidential debate in recorded American history, in June. Why is that? This is a Hail Mary attempt for Biden as his numbers are tanking. This is their last chance to give him a desperate attempt to succeed. And if he doesn't, as I expect will be the case, that gives them enough time to swap out somebody else for the nomination. That's what's going on. Set him up for the best possible look you can give him. It's not a neutral forum. It's CNN. Do the 180 as he's tanking. But if he fails, they have enough time to prop up a new puppet. That's what I think is going on.
So Biden is his own trial balloon. He's been around for like 50 years, and they're still auditioning him. That's pretty funny.
I think it's going to be an extraordinary way for him to go out in style. I do not think that even with that tipped hand moderator, I would have said pick a left of center network and a right of center network to do it together. But you're going to have a left of center network, CNN doing it. They're going to try their best to make Biden look good. I think they're going to fail, and they're going to fail miserably. And after that comes the red carpet for whoever substitutes Biden after that.
Trump, all he needs to do, Vivek, is to be cool. Because Biden is going to throw insults at him. The only thing he can do is try to bait him. Bait Trump, get him into a mudslinging contest where he loses it. That's what they're going to try to do. If Trump does a Reagan and just has the equivalent of there you go again, he'll win it by, hands down.
Having spent a lot of time with President Trump, I think that he is a further place than he was. He's been the president already. I think he is more than ready for this. The record speaks for itself. It's a rare opportunity to compare 4 years.
All right. They're setting up. They're going to move somebody in. I think because of the last couple of months, how they've put Biden out as a sacrificial, retarded lamb. Okay? This anemic, donkey fucking waste. They're setting up to have somebody coming in. So I want to go back to what we had on the bingo cards. And I think Biden's going out. That's going to check a box. It's going to be Michelle, Big Dick Obama, or it's going to be Gavin, the hairdo Newsom. I'm leaning into it harder now. I think we're back to it.
I think I see what Fox is doing by, calling him out, but I think it's a good strategy. It's the best they can do. Democrats
throw a Hail Mary and put him out there. But do you think there's any way that he can win a debate though? Even if you're stacking the deck completely for CNN.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that if he crashes and burns, then you go with plan B. It's early enough to, not that person's going to beat Trump, but what said on there is true, and they're they feel like they're calling out the Democrats, which they are, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's a built-in safety release valve.
Yeah,
either way, the Democrats come out. I'm not going to say ahead, but they come out better than they are now.
Right.
I don't see how they get ahead ever again. Well, at least not for a while. But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you, Jefe. I think it's their only play. I think they had a lot of strategists in a room together, and they were like, "This is the best we've got, so let's do it. Fuck it."
Now, keep in mind, this came out this week, and then they went ahead and threw down executive privilege, and not allowing the her report to be divulged. They won't let the audio out for it.
Because we don't need to know that he's a senile old man who can't remember shit.
I don't think they ever debate. I think something happens to Biden still. I don't think he ever gets to that level.
Well, I mean, they got a couple weeks to
Yep.
As I said earlier, black flag something. Black swan false flag event. And then they'll be like, oh well, Biden's taking care of too many crises right now. We're gonna call off the debate. They always have that.
Or he gets COVID.
Too.
Or he gets COVID.
Yeah, right.
Because Jerome Powell got COVID today, just suddenly.
Yes, he did.
Now he's working from home. Oh yeah, Jerome Powell, head of the Fed.
Head of the Fed. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Can't have him in public anymore. Right after Tom Massey says to end the Fed. That's
and again, that story plays into our theory that the market is going to crash soon. Because they have to say, well, it wasn't Powell, it wasn't anything he said. Because Powell can move markets too. He can come out and say, hey, we're raising interest rates, we're lowering them. Nope, it can't be Powell. He was out of commission. He's down and out with a COVID direction. So,
hey, I gotta go.
All right,
man.
Later.
Have a good night.
Yep.
You too. We'll see you
later.
All right, we got to get to this greatest rant ever, possibly.
Yes, this is fucking great.
California was
really
unable
great.
to track $24 billion for combat homelessness. They were unable to track $2.3 trillion for fucking military spending. Treasury was unable to track fucking $5 trillion for pandemic spending. But they know exactly where your 133 funky ass dollars at, huh? We need fucking explanation because we know it ain't going back in our infrastructure. Our country look like a third world fucking country, but the amount of money that's coming out of our fucking tax dollars, our city should look like fucking Dubai. Our small town should look like fucking Utopia. Our city should look like the fucking cities of the movie Fifth Element. And some of you soft motherfuckers gonna be like, why he's yelling? Because we getting robbed. That's why. When you add all our fucking day-to-day taxes up, they're taking over 50%. The other 50 cent is out there paying fucking bills, treating us like we nothing but peasants. Y'all pushing our motherfucking buttons. The American people will soon fucking realize that we don't have beef with one another any longer. Y'all gonna fuck around and make the American people form goddamn Voltron. All my white American form the left leg. All my Asian American form the right leg. All my black American form the right arm. All my Latin American form the left arm. And Donald Trump forms the motherfucking torso.
It's one of the greatest rants ever, right?
So amazing. Yeah.
And he fucking nailed it.
Oh yeah. I found it this morning and I was like, oh fuck, I am ready for Friday.
Yeah, that
so
set the bar at IT369445H77 on TikTok. I think that's him. I'm hoping that's him. That might have been the guy who did a duet with him, which is cheap.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Anyway,
yeah,
that dude fucking hit it.
Well,
and
if you just look up hashtag Voltron, you'll find it. I mean, that's
is that it?
Fucking,
okay.
Yeah, he lit up Voltron. And I just love that he included everybody in there. He's like,
oh
like,
yeah.
See,
and that's inclusive.
Yes,
that's fucking inclusive. That's okay.
And
we can all come together. Yeah, we can all come together on making things better. It's okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Not like this. You ready for this? I'm going to do this before we go. Oh yeah, it has to happen. Here we go. This is your government working hard. It's not a Saturday Night Live skit.
Hold on. I want you to put this in the context. Okay. I want you to put this in the context of the Roman Colosseum, and
British Parliament.
Idiots. Yeah. The entertaining the masses. All right, this is pure entertainment. Now, have it be known, these are elected officials. These are Congress people. These are people that you supposedly elected to represent you. And this is the debate that they're having in the House. Or is it the Senate? This is the Senate.
Well, it's one of the what is this? It's the it's
one of the committees.
I think it's the Appropriations Committee, but we'll go and we'll
anyway. So these are elected officials here having this discussion.
Judge Merchan's daughter. I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you
your
please
history.
regain
That's
order
beneath
of your
you.
committee.
Order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your
Move
feelings hurt?
her words down. Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play, with
Baby
me.
girl? I don't think
we are
so.
gonna move, and we're gonna take your words down.
I second that motion.
So who will have to pay us? Okay. Ms. Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
should
recognizes
apologize. No,
Mr.
she
Perry.
should apologize.
Okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Green
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then you're not striking your words.
I am
Mr.
not
Perry.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the minority.
pretty self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd
the.
like to
I
strike
move to
those
strike the
words
ladies.
as well.
I move to
I would
strike.
like-
absolute fucking chaos. Absolute chaos. It is all I want to have happen. We'll go back to this real quick. Is just throw some Jello in a pool and let those two go at it. It's Jasmine Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, the two biggest, most well, I gotta say the most absurd because honestly, AOC was classier than Crockett was. Crockett,
which
she's
surprised
a
me.
hood rat. Period. That's what she is.
Yeah,
you got a hood rat versus backwoods. She's terrible. Anyway, let's just go back to it. It's fantastic.
I wanted like a Jets and the Sharks.
Oh yeah, but
I wanted a
less
knife fight.
But like on an F reel, like not even like a B list movie. Like it's like an F movie. This is like it couldn't even meet Bollywood. It was so terrible.
Yeah, agreed.
That's 2 requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the
There's
words.
another motion to strike her words again. Please
All right,
get
okay,
your members under
here's
control.
the correct apology. Ms. Green, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection.
Not apologizing.
21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's
It's me.
Ms. Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
part of
I'm
it.
trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to
I
strike
had no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just.
You just voted to do
Y'all
it.
did it first, so you want to talk about
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at calm down.
No, because this
I
is
would
what
like
y'all
to get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying
Hey,
to
Ms.
get
Crockett,
clarification.
you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Ms.
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a
Mr.
problem.
Chairman, Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right, Chair. Chair,
I don't know why
okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognize.
The best part for me is when you're watching it and you see Lauren Boebert, right? And she makes the sign of the cross. Like, oh my God, I can't believe what I'm witnessing. If she even goes there, out of all the stuff that she's been in the middle of, oh wow.
Right.
This is your government. Very, very serious government. These people are working on behalf of you. Congratulations. That's what you have to look forward to.
I mean, it's a fucking clown show, and we all know it's a clown show. And you know, I hate to say it, but half of those fucking idiots were DEI hires. You know, I mean, they were part of that movement that, you know, while we were electing a woman of color, and I'm not saying a woman of color shouldn't be a part of the U.S. Congress.
Not at all.
But she should be more qualified than anyone else there, or as qualified as anyone else there.
She should be qualified, period. And she repeatedly shows that she's not. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that AOC should be there, or Marjorie Taylor Greene should be there, or Lauren Boebert should be there. That is not the point.
No.
If you're going to be a professional representative of your people, you should be classy, right? You should be well thought out. You should not have this hood rat gangster backwoods hillbilly act that goes along with some of these folks. It is just an absolute shit show. And I'm not at all letting off anybody who is the prim and proper asshole that's taking money from APAC or any of the CPACs or any of those guys.
Right.
You should
They're
be
just as
straight
bad.
up honest, representative. There shouldn't be any money involved.
Yep.
It just goes to show you. But who are the ones that are actually going to be called attention to? It's these three. Or four, excuse me, because I'm going to throw AOC in there because she actually commented also. AOC, Crockett, MJT, and Boebert. Those are the ones that you're going to see. Those are the ones you're going to focus on. You're not going to focus on the ones that are actually doing the serious damage. They want you to look at the clowns.
Yep.
Look at the clowns.
Like I
ha
said.
ha ha. Look at what we got here. That's funny. No, it's a fucking embarrassment. So be careful who you're fucking voting for.
Like I said, picture the Colosseum, the Romans, you know, give them bread and give them entertainment, and they'll leave you alone. And that's what this is. So you're not seeing the behind the scenes shit that's actually fucking you in the butt. You're watching the porno in front of you and getting off on that. And it's just sick. It's sick. They are all trash.
Fitz, what beer are you taking to bed?
You know, remarkably, I'm gonna go with the first beer, the Nightmare Juice.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. First of all, I really like the brewery, the ghost town, the kind of vibe they have going on. They're from Oakland, which has its dirty roots, and if you're from Oakland, you grew up tough, and I can appreciate that. And this beer kind of reflects that. It's a very down to earth, very earthy beer. Again, nothing. I'm taking nothing away from Falling Skies Porter. Very good beer, but I was surprisingly impressed by that ghost town. So that's who's going to bed with me. Not a sex beer, but no. she's gonna make it work tonight. It's gonna be enough. It'll be great.
Would you marry that beer?
Definitely not.
Okay.
Definitely not. This is a
all right.
1 night to 2 week fling, depending on
That makes sense.
Yeah. How about you? What are you taking to bed?
So the weirdest thing happened. I'm taking the Martin House Chernobyl.
Okay.
The 15%er, the absolute rocket fuel. It was such an easy drinker. It was so fucking easy. And that's scary. That is so trouble. It was not scary. I would not say it's enjoyable at all. All right. It was not enjoyable. But once you got going, it was like, this is easy. I mean, I'm not even drinking. I'm not even thinking about it. It was more like water. And I actually, full disclosure, I have my bitch beer, my side bitch here's still also, which is a Kolsch from Almanac. And I still have a little bit left of the brown ale, right? Because that was a lot to get through. It was a massive bottle. I think it was probably about 1,250 ounces. Something. I mean, it was stupid big. That was the most enjoyable of the two beers. Hands down. I'm not going to go have it again for sure, but very surprising. It nailed it.
Well, I mean, I the way you're describing that beer, it's like what most women experience during sex. Like, it's tolerable, and then all of a sudden,
it's okay.
Maybe you could find some piece of this that's enjoyable. So yeah, that's great. I mean,
I hope
for
you
you,
get
and
off, but if you don't, I am.
Yeah. My side bitch beer, I gotta give a shout out just for creative, namesakes. It's from Pelican Brewing, and it's called Hoppa Don't Preach. And it's an IPA.
Madonna
it's not
throwback?
a super yeah, exactly. It's not super hoppy though, so I don't know where they got the hoppa, but it's more of like a Citra. Very enjoyable beer, but I dug the name. Hoppa Don't Preach. That's very clever. So side bitch beers get their comeuppance as well. So
Absolutely. It's like the fluffer of our beers for the night.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Good call.
All right, that is going to wind things up tonight. Thank you so much to everybody who was actually able to be in chat tonight. Aaron, Beard of Liberty, Justin, L, Tabby, Mike, Calliope was here. We had L. Well, no, I had L. I already got L. Sorry, L.
We had Buttercup. For a while.
Buttercup was here. Jefe made 2 appearances in the most deranged farm reports
Fantastic.
we've ever had. Absolutely perfect. We appreciate you guys listening. whiskeyhellpod.com is the website. You guys can always check us out on X. It's whiskey_hell, excuse me. And just, think critically.
Act accordingly.
We'll talk to you soon.